Summary of Poems and Prayers by Matthew McConaughey. Introduction. There is a fundamental problem in our modern world. We are living in a time where it is more than hard to know what to believe in. For many, it's simply hard to believe. We have been taught to rely on logic to make sense of ourselves and the world. We look for the prescription, the practical, the proof, and the reality to get to the dream. But this endless quest for certainty, for what we can own or make a startup company of, leaves our souls hungry. We become cynical, and in a world where doubt wins, we all lose. 5 years after his #1 best-selling memoir, Greenlights, taught us to find the lessons in our past, Matthew McConaughey returns with a different kind of memoir, a portrait of his faith and its impact on his everyday life. His thesis is that it's time for us to flip the script. He argues that we must open our aperture to enchantment, to look to faith, belief, and dreams for our reality. Poems and Prayers is his answer to this problem. It is an inspiring, faith-filled, and often hilarious collection of personal poetry and prayers about navigating the rodeo of life. For McConaughey, his prayers are his poems, and his poems are his prayers. This book is not a conventional guide to self-help. It is a soulful and irreverent collection of life lessons, a call to serve some soul food to our hungry heads and go beyond what we can merely imagine to truly believe in the poetry of life. This collection is his personal roadmap to finding faith in himself, in humanity, in his family, and in the world, and we will explore his findings through the course of this summary. Chapter 1. Navigation. Livin, Ditties. This first section of the book, Navigation, Livin, Ditties, can be understood as McConaughey's personal set of spiritual reminders and lyrics for livin'. It functions as a practical compass for the soul. Where Greenlights gave us bumper stickers derived from past experiences, this section offers us proactive ditties, short, memorable, and often humorous philosophies designed to navigate the present. These are not abstract theological arguments, they are practical tools. They are spiritual prescriptions for the everyday. This section explores the contradictions that make us who we are, a theme McConaughey also explored in his children's book, Just Because. For example, just because you're shaking doesn't mean you're not steady. These ditties are his way of holding two opposing ideas at the same time and finding the truth in the tension. This chapter is about setting your intentions. It's about how to sell Sunday morning like a Saturday night. How to take the reverence and faith of a Sunday morning and infuse it with the joy, energy, and full-blooded participation of a Saturday night. The poems and prayers in this section are his spiritual reminders and artistic reminders. They are the daily alignments he uses to keep his internal compass pointed toward belief. They are often simple, direct, and rhythmic, designed to be repeated until they become a part of your thinking. This section isn't about finding a single rigid path. It's about building a collection of tools that help you stay true to your own course, to navigate the rodeo of life with a sense of optimism and personal direction. It is the practical, daily work of chasing down the original dream, belief. Chapter 2. Fuckups, Daymares, Wobbly lost, Lookin, faith, doubt. This section is the raw, vulnerable heart of the book. If the first chapter was about navigation, this one is about what happens when you are completely, hopelessly lost. McConaughey rejects the idea of a clean, sterile faith. He presents a creed that is in permanent tension with earthly delights and soiled realities. This chapter is his exploration of those soiled realities, the fuck-ups, the Daymares, and the wobbly moments that define the human experience. This is where he wrestles with the doubt that he introduced in the book's opening. This isn't the story of a man who has never failed. It's the story of a man who has learned to find faith in his failures. He addresses the trauma and triumph that shape a life and the shocking incident that defined him. He lays bare the moments of being wobbly and lost to show that these are not moments where faith is absent, but moments where faith is most necessary. These poems and prayers are not all happy, jolly, and cool. They are gritty, honest, and unfiltered. They capture the feeling of being in the dark, searching for a green light. This section embodies his distinction between being a nice guy and a good man. A nice guy might avoid these difficult truths. A good man confronts them. He confronts his own hypocrisy, his fears, and his failures, not as evidence of his unworthiness, but as the very things that make him human. This chapter is a powerful statement on vulnerability. McConaughey shows that faith isn't a shield that protects you from life. It's the resilience that helps you get back up when life knocks you down. The prayers in this section are not for deliverance from trouble, but for strength within it. It is an honest accounting of the struggle and a testament to the fact that you can be lost looking and still be on the path to finding faith. Chapter 3. Compassion, Forgiveness, Reigning. Grace following the darkness of the previous chapter. Compassion, forgiveness, reigning grace is the antidote. This is the how of healing. After confronting the fuck-ups and the doubt, this section explores the spiritual mechanics of moving forward. This chapter is McConaughey's meditation on the gifts of imperfection. It's where he searches for and finds the divine in himself. The central themes here are compassion, forgiveness, and the reigning grace that allows for a fresh start. These are not passive concepts. They are active, courageous choices. The poems in this section are acts of empathy. They reflect his belief in humanity, you, myself, our potential. He explores compassion not as a feeling of pity, but as a deep recognition of a shared struggle. It's the understanding that everyone is navigating their own rodeo, and everyone has their own fuck-ups. Forgiveness, in this context, is the engine of resilience. It's the key to processing the trauma and triumph. The prayers here are likely focused on both seeking forgiveness and, perhaps more importantly, granting it. This echoes the core of his Greenlights philosophy. You cannot move forward if you are still carrying the weight of your past. Forgiveness is the act of uncatching yourself, of letting go of the red and yellow lights so you can catch the green ones. Reigning grace is the result of this work. It is the ultimate green light. It is the unearned, unmerited sense of peace and acceptance that comes when you have faced your own imperfections and chosen compassion. This section is an antidote to the cynicism he mentioned in the introduction. It is the hard-won, relentless positivity that comes not from ignoring the darkness, but from finding the light within it. Chapter 4. American Dreams Lost to Find. In this section, McConaughey scales his personal philosophy to a macro level, examining the very idea of success, ambition, and the American dream. This chapter is about his own journey of losing the conventional dream to find his authentic one. This is the story of his famous unbranding, where he famously walked away from the romantic comedies that had defined his career to seek out deeper, more challenging work. The American dream that was lost was the one based on logic, certainty, owning or making a startup company of it. It was the dream of fame and fortune for its own sake. The dream that was found is one based on faith, belief, and dreams for our reality. It is a dream based on the poetry of life. This chapter likely explores the rebellious spiritual journey that led him to his current life. He writes about his faith in his family, his career, the world, the works. This new American dream is not about acquisition, it's about contribution. It's rooted in what some have observed as his conservative discipline and traditional family values. His personal brand, as a professor, a co-owner of a soccer club, a husband and a father, is the embodiment of this new dream. The poems and prayers here are likely meditations on what truly matters. They question the metrics of success and offer an alternative, a life measured not by wealth or fame, but by faith, integrity, and chasing down the original dream, which for him is belief itself. It's about finding your original dream before the world told you what you should want. Chapter 5. Sunrise. Intentions. All day, appreciations. If the previous chapter was the what, this final section is the how. Sunrise Intentions All Day Appreciations brings the book's grand philosophies down to the most practical, granular, and actionable level. This is the daily habit of living a life of belief. Sunrise Intentions is the practice of starting the day with purpose. It is the conscious act of setting your spiritual and mental compass before the rodeo of life begins. These are likely short, sharp prayers or poems designed to be read in the morning to frame the day, to choose belief over doubt, and to align your actions with your values. All-day appreciations is the practice of maintaining that alignment. It is the habit of gratitude. It is the conscious effort to find the green lights in real time, to see the poetry of life in the mundane, and to serve some soul food to our hungry heads throughout the day. This practice is the core of his Just Keep Livin' philosophy. It is an active, not passive state of being. This chapter is the ultimate how-to guide for selling Sunday morning like a Saturday night. It's not about waiting for a single moment of enlightenment. It's about the relentless positivity that comes from a disciplined daily practice of setting intentions and finding gratitude. These poems and prayers are tools for finding faith and joy in the simple act of paying attention to life. It is the spiritual work that allows you to move ourselves forward to move humanity forward. Final summary. Poems and Prayers is a testament to the power of personal conviction. Its core philosophy is that belief is not a passive luxury, but an active, courageous, and daily choice. Matthew McConaughey gives us a roadmap to flip the script on our own cynicism, to choose belief over doubt. We have the personal power to stop seeking proof and instead dream our way to reality. By embracing the contradictions and poetry of life, we find the faith to navigate the rodeo, and in doing so, we find our truest selves.
Thanks for listening. If you found this summary valuable, please like, subscribe, and comment with your thoughts. To support the channel, all links are in the description.